Hello. Just wanted to do a really quick update to let you guys know, first of all, I'm doing well. I'm okay. I've been so inspired and so encouraged and so uplifted by the response to my video about losing my job. More views than I think any other video I've ever posted ever by like a gazillion %, and was not expecting that, because that was a video that I actually sat on for a few days thinking, oh, should I post this? It's, I don't feel good when I'm not in a good place. I don't know if I should share that or not. But by the same time, I want to be authentic on here, and I don't want to do what a lot of people do and just, make everything on social media look like life is perfect, because that's just not realistic. I don't know how or why it resonated with so many people, but just every comment, I think I've pretty much read and responded to every single one of your beautiful comments, and that just lifted my spirits so much. Thank you so much. It's made a huge difference to my processing. I'd already decided, that I knew I had to let it go. It was a fight I didn't want to have. I didn't want to put any more energy into trying to work out why or understand the mindset of a human being that is so removed from my reality that my brain can't even conceive of it, and why give it any more energy. Just bring that energy back to myself and turn inwards and just heal. And there's been a lot of prayer and a lot of prayer and a lot of feeling like, you guys, how many of you guys said you were praying for me as well? Like, so gratefully received. Thank you so much. And I got some amazing donations, which sometimes I put on the end of my video, that you can make donations, but that was a video I didn't want to ask, because I knew in my mind that if I set my mind to it and just went back to busking as often as I could, I'd make the money I needed for the mechanic. But with all your amazing donations, I now am able to pay for what I owe the mechanic, which is, thank you, a huge weight off my mind, and really good timing again, because we're expecting a cyclone in the next couple of days. A lot of people have left the campground. I did get somebody before they left who had a pickup, a ute as they call them here, with a tow pole on it, and I just said, can you just move me forward well away from the trees that were behind my campsite here that go down to the river. There is potential for the river to flood. We don't really know what to expect, because it's a funny cyclone, Cyclone Alfred they're calling it, and its path has been changing courses so many times that it's been difficult for the Weather Bureau to predict exactly where it will hit. But the latest as of today is that it's pretty much barreling straight towards us as a Category 2. That's pretty high winds, and I am pretty much in its path. So it's nerve-wracking. I don't have my truck. Normally I would hitch the van up to the truck just to give me a little bit more weight and stability. I don't have that. But yesterday, the people that are staying behind, we all took our awnings down, and everyone pitched in and helped everyone. Someone helped me move forward, and some of them are now bugging out to avoid it. They're going to head out west and get as far away from it as possible. So that makes me a little anxious. So all you beautiful people who were telling me that I was in your prayers, I just ask for your continued prayers, because I am trying not to be fearful, but I am a little bit anxious about I've been through some crazy situations when I've been on the road, and lots of avoiding floods and fires, and strange things happen when you're on the road. But I have never been through a cyclone since I've been living in my caravan, and which is one of the reasons why I wasn't super keen about spending another summer in Queensland, because it's the wet season, it's cyclone season, and we're talking about storms that can rip roofs off houses, and I'm in a little tiny 1,500 kilo, like it's a 920 kilo van, but with all my stuff in it, it's probably about 1,500 kilos, but definitely lighter than all the other big modern vans around me at the moment. aluminium frame, aluminium body, great for towing, but not really made to withstand a cyclone. So there's obviously a little bit of trepidation about that. It could also change completely its path and avoid us completely. We don't really know, because it's forecast to sort of come over the next few days. So I've just been up to the shops and stocked up on some food, and everyone was in there panic buying. Like, it was, I've never seen it so busy. It was crazy. The car park was full, the supermarket was full, everyone, half the shop shelves were empty of all sorts of things. I just stocked up on meat, and I put some in the freezer in the office. If we do lose power, which is, you know, something they've told us to be prepared for, my Bluetti is fully charged up, my little power pack, and I've charged everything, you know, fully up, so that can keep me going as far as my fridge and lights and things like that for a few days if I need to, if it comes to that. I am a little bit of a prepper, so you know, if anyone's going to withstand a situation like this, it's me. I'm feeling confident, but nervous about the van. It would, yeah, I just hope it doesn't get flipped over. That's all. That's my biggest fear, because I have been through I've been through some pretty big storms. I was in one in Victoria and Warburton, where it was so windy that whole trees all around the caravan park were just falling, and I was lying in here at night crying, scared, because I could hear the cracking and smashing of trees all around me. And when I woke up in the morning and went and had a look around, it was like a disaster zone in the whole caravan park, and trees had actually landed completely on top of like permanent caravans and annexes, squashed one car completely flat. Like, it was like it had been through one of those flattening things. It was boom, just huge big gum trees just everywhere, just ripped off at their base, you know, like not just branches, the whole tree smashed, bang. And that night we were rocking and rolling so bad in here that a few times I actually felt the front of the van lift up, like up off the jockey wheel like this, and I was just like, oh, I'm thinking like, oh, what if I flip over? Like, my main concern was for my saxophone. I actually tucked it away under the dinette couch here. It's got a really good protective travel case, but I wrapped it in blankets and put it in there, and I was like, look, if everything else gets destroyed, I can deal with that, but not the saxophone. So if it gets that bad where the wind is really frightening me, I've already spoken to the person that's working in the office now, and who has a key to the office, and it's a brick Besser block building right next door to me. So, and it has like roller door windows. It's kind of like a canteen style. It probably was a canteen at some point in its life. And that would be the place to go and take shelter if I need to personally. So I've got a go bag with all my important documents and some canned food and, you know, things that I might need. I don't know. I've got plenty of water. I've bottled up some water. Yeah, I think I'm going to be okay. But if it comes to that, I will take shelter there. And if the van suffers any damage, it is insured. But everything of mine that's inside it isn't. But, you know, anyway, I don't want to think the worst of that. Just quick update. I'm okay. I'm doing well. I'm paying my way. And I haven't been busking since last Saturday, mainly because it's been really windy as this cyclone traveled down the coast. It was very, very windy, and I don't like windy weather. It just makes me a bit so I've kind of just been laying low a bit, and now it's kind of moved a bit further south, but it is going to turn around and come back and make landfall. So yeah, I haven't been busking, but I was able to go get some food, and that's in part thanks to you guys. Your generosity has blown me away, especially you, Deb. That was beyond generous, and my heart is really full, and I'm happy about that, because some of your comments were saying things like, oh, you know, humans are just terrible, and you can't trust anybody and things like that. And I was kind of like, well, no, I don't believe that. Just because one human made my life miserable doesn't mean I'm going to write off all humanity. I still want to believe and will continue to believe that the essence of humanity and most human beings is essentially good. We're all good given the right circumstances, you know, and you guys have proven that to me. Like, if I had any lingering doubt about that, the response to that video has just absolutely proven that point to me. Humans are good. God is good. You know, it's so true. And so many people said this to me: turn to God, turn to God, turn to God. I already had. I mean, that very night that I posted that sad video, I was praying all night long because I couldn't sleep. And I actually found some YouTube that had, like, you know, all night long passages from the Bible and prayers to help with protection and guidance and healing. And I was just listening to that constantly. Like, I just saturated my brain with being in the presence of God and praying. And I know there's some people, and definitely my family, who don't get it, and they are a little bit anti, you know, because I told them that I was going through a really hard time when I was living in America, and that's when I first, actually my doctor told me, start going to church, and I went to church and I got baptized again. I had been baptized as a baby into the Catholic Church, but our family was not practicing at all. So in a time when I felt completely lost, in a time where my health was really bad and my family had pretty much turned their back on me, the church, family church as it was called, how ironic or coincidental or I don't know, serendipitous or something, it really, really got me through probably the darkest time I'd ever been through. And I learnt the power then of prayer. And that had been because people kept coming up to me in the street when I was so crippled and ill that I couldn't walk. I mean, I was visibly crippled. And when that first happened, I couldn't believe how many people just walked up in the street and said, can I pray for you? And I was, you know, I wasn't really into any of that. I wasn't going to church and I wasn't practicing Christian and I hadn't been baptized, but I thankfully said yes, you know, like, yes, I will take your prayers, like, I will, you know. And they prayed for me and for my healing. And that's when I thought, you know what, if a person could be so selfless as to come up to a stranger in the street and offer them some kind of healing prayer for no benefit to themselves whatsoever, they didn't have to do that. There was no reward for them doing that, but they did it out of the kindness of their hearts. And that's what made me realize, like, these are good people, you know. So that's where I'm at with that. Look, I have some friends that probably don't agree with that, and it's not something I talk about a lot, but you know, I have a playlist of my favorite worship songs that if I'm feeling a little bit down in the dumps and I need a bit of reminding, because you do need to be reminded sometimes, you know, life gets busy, and I still pray all the time, like almost every day, but I'll put those songs on and I sing to them, and I get reminded of who I belong to, and yeah, I'm very, it just works, you know. Watch some of my previous videos, look at the dramas I've had to endure, and those times when I've sat there and in absolute despair, thinking this is it, this is the end of the road, it's all over, it's more than I can cope with, this is more than I can cope with. And every time it's gotten to that point and I've fervently prayed, please God, please help me, you know, guide me, protect me, absolute, get on your knees, just get on your knees. Literally, I back in Oregon when I was really struggling, I literally got down on my knees and I just begged for mercy, and it came. So, and I feel like that's what's happened here as well. So when you have these kind of circumstances happen again and again, where the power of your faith is so strong, and it is then responded to, then that just increases your faith next time. Yeah, sometimes I need to remind myself things are going to be really, really tough sometimes, but Jesus has my back, you know. God has my back. I am his child. I am not forsaken. I am not alone. I have the best father in the world, and I'm very thankful for that, because my biological father doesn't want anything to do with me, which was hard to handle, which is probably why I turned to the church in the first place. So that's where I'm at with it all, and I hope you'll continue to watch, even if you don't agree with my viewpoint on my spiritual beliefs. You know, a lot of my friends don't, and that's why I don't really talk about it. I try to be a living example rather than a, you know, talk person about it. But in this particular instance, I'm talking about it now because so many of you talked about it and encouraged me to, reminded me, you know, of what I had already figured out on my own by then. But that really, I want you to know that that helped me, and I'm just really, really thankful at the moment. And I have been filming video over the last few days with things that have been going on updates wise, but I've just been kind of busy getting into cyclone preparation at the moment, and so I will probably be stuck inside for the next week when this thing actually hits, and hopefully with not much else to do, and I won't be able to go busking, so I will sit and edit all that video and give you guys an actual update soon. So this one's going to come first, and then the rest of them will come at some stage over the next couple of weeks. So just, this one's really just to say thank you, and just let you know how much I appreciate you so much. And my friends who contacted me, people who know who I am, who've interacted with me for long enough to know who I am and to reassure me of that. Thank you guys. You've been amazing, and yeah, I'm not alone. And sometimes I feel alone because I'm physically alone, but I'm not. And yeah, I just hope you guys will stick around, because I've got it's got me all inspired about, you know, if my channel has been little and insignificant for years now. I've been running around doing my thing and videoing it all, and nothing really much has come of it. And now I'm kind of like inspired. I got so many new subscribers and so many lovely comments, and I will end up getting, because I've been monetized, but I've only ever made like, you know, $100, $120, little bits here and there from it since I got monetized. But with the reaction for that video, it's actually given me the potential to have an income source that could be really helpful. and that could then, you know, like I've said before in the description, you know, your kind donations keep me rolling, and it's true. I'm on disability. I don't have enough to do as much as I want to do as far as being on the road with petrol costs and camping costs and car repairs and things like that. There's just not enough to cover everything. It's really just gives you enough to survive on a sort of a basic level. So everything extra that comes in, whether it's through YouTube or through donations, is going to enable me to go off and have some more adventures. So I will let you know what I've got, where my little head's going with that. There's some more adventures in me, and I've kind of gotten inspired, you know. I think, I don't know, when I first came back from America in 2019, I really wanted to do the full lap around the whole of Australia, and, you know, COVID happened, and it just wasn't financially viable. But I'm kind of thinking, well, or else I had commitments, you know, and family things or events and things that I had committed myself to. I have a pretty open schedule once I'm done with this one here in May, and I don't know, what do you reckon? Would you stick with me if I took this crazy roadshow on a big round Australia trip? Would you be prepared to watch that? Would it interest you? I know that being on the road is my happy place, even though it's sometimes stressful. But the main stressor of it is when it's when I can't afford to fix something that needs fixing. That's been my biggest stress, either that or my health. My health is pretty good at the moment, so it might be a good opportunity. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I really mean that. Like, my heart feels like it's like bursting out. Like, I'm so beyond thankful. And the sun's just starting to set now. It's going to get a little bit dark in here. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have made a huge difference in my life, and I just want you to know, whether you're from the other side of the world, down the road, anywhere else, you've changed my life. You, yes, you person watching this right now, you changed my life. I mean, isn't that amazing? I can honestly say you've changed my life. YouTube has changed my life, and the connections have changed my life, and I'm just so thankful. I know I'm going to say it over and over and over again, but I am so thankful and so full of love and faith and hope and, yeah, healing, feeling very, 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 very much healing from whatever torment my brain was giving me. It's a lot better now, so thanks to you. All right, see ya.